All right. Well, you see, now that my garage is open, now we have room to do things inside here. I want to talk to you guys about something because today is day 13 of no freaking tobacco. I've got a can of dips in my pocket, and we're going to talk about what I recently purchased. Yeah, look at that LB7 smoke, baby. Because it's freaking America Day, that's why. So some of you guys might be like, that really threw me off. Why did you buy a motorcycle? Well, you see, for years, I've always wanted a motorcycle. And I've always put it on the back burner just because of different things that came up, different things that I wanted to buy. And then people were like, oh, well, motorcycles are dangerous. And I'm not worried about me, other people I do worry about. But in the same token, I shouldn't let that make me not ride, if that makes sense. So ultimately, throughout all of this stuff, I'm still working. I'm making really good money. So I figured, what would be a better time to purchase my first bike than now? Now, I did pick up a 2004 Sportster 1200 Custom. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, why'd you buy a Sportster? Well, let me go into detail as to why I did what I did. Alright, well, we're going to wheel it back right now. So, I want you guys to know, like, this isn't some type of weird flex or anything like that. Like, I just genuinely am super excited for this. Like, this has always been, like, a dream of mine. To not only own a motorcycle, but to own a freaking Harley, nonetheless. Damn it. I'm going to have to go all the way out this way. So, once we actually get it back, because I didn't feel like maneuvering around that light. Now that we have it here, I'm going to kind of cock it over this way. We're going to sit here and we're going to chit-chat. Alright? So, why did I purchase this particular Sportster 1200? So, to get into it, alright, I always teeter with myself. If you actually look back on old videos, and I'm going to put in a freaking can of dips real quick, because this is a good time to not only weeble wobble, but also put in a freaking pinch or a pouch. So, basically, guys, I've always wanted a bike. In old videos, I mentioned, like, back when we had this garage cleared out and the Camaro was actually sitting out where the truck is right now, I was like, man, an R6 would look great with the Warrior. And the more that I think about it, and the more that I've thought about it over time, like, I have a bad back. Even though I'm 24, I sit kind of, like, hunched over to begin with, right? Is a crotch rocket really a good idea for me? Do I think that R6s are freaking awesome? I do, absolutely. Is an R6 for me? I'm married, I have 2 kids, I have a lot to worry about. The crotch rocket thing just doesn't make sense. And I'm going to live my whole life never owning a crotch rocket. I'm completely freaking okay with that. But, in the same token, I looked for a while and I was like, okay, do I buy a Marauder? Do I buy a Vulcan? Do I buy a V-Star? You know what I mean? Like, I was just looking around and I'm like, do I really want to settle for, like, a Vulcan 800? I'm like, no. Then the other portion of me was like, I saw Vulcan 800s going for like $1,000 to $1,500. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, my life is not on on 4 wheels. It is now on 2 wheels. So with that being said, do I want to trust Joe Schmigel-Dick that's selling me a bike on Marketplace that everything is okay, knowing that I'm taking his word, having my life on that bike with having 2 kids and a wife? So I was like, okay, well, I'll go through a dealership. And then the more I got to thinking about it, I was like, I could truthfully settle down for a Harley. not an expensive Harley, not anything too crazy for now, because I do genuinely want something that is going to be non-upsetting if I do lay it on its side. This is my first bike. My first bike is a freaking Harley, which is awesome. Like I said, it's not a weird flex or anything like that. It's just, that is what I decided to do, and I had the funds to be able to do it. So with that comes, I'm looking at Harleys, I'm looking at different dealerships. What do I get? Well, I looked around, and truthfully, 883, just not for me. I'm 6'1", like I really don't, obviously the size is about the same with a 1200. But in the same token, it's like, I want a little bit of oomph, but I'm good enough to where I can control myself with, I have a lead foot, but when it comes to riding snowmobile, four-wheeler, even driving, like, I'm not what I used to be when I was 18 driving around being an ass. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll get the 1200. And then I went to the dealership, and they're like, hey, roughly same price, I can get you on a lowrider, a Dyna lowrider. And I'm like, I like the Dyna lowrider, but do I really want to start myself on that big of a bike? And I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, you're going to get freaking bored with this in a year or two. Well, this is where it kind of gets into the nitty-gritty. So I ride this, right? I ride it. I get familiar with it. I go out and have a good time. It's not like I'm going to be riding like crazy heavy. I'm not going to be like in a biker club, gang, whatever you want to call it. I just want to ride, and I just want to enjoy those things. With working a lot, like I just want to kick back, relax, and this is going to be my thing to just, hey, go for a little bit of a ride. So, ideally, there's two things that can go down here. Either A, I ride this for a year or two. Do I think I'll get bored with it? Yeah, probably. Do I think I'll want more power? Yeah. But if I lay this on its side, I don't care as much as, I care, but I wouldn't care as much if I laid this on its side in comparison to, like, if I laid a Fat Bob or I laid something else on its side. If you guys get my drift there. With it being my first bike, I didn't want to go too crazy at all. And ultimately, I would like to see maybe my wife ride this. And obviously she'll ride on the back, but I would like to see her physically ride it. So it's something that she truthfully could learn to ride on as well. And worst case scenario, if she doesn't, either A, I'll still go ahead and get a different bike down the road, something bigger, more fun. But I could also turn this into a chopper. But in the same, or a bomber, in the same token, this is really freaking clean. For being a 2004 with, let me walk this thing up. I'll give you guys the exact mileage here in a minute. So the exact mileage is just shy of 25K. So it has 24,981 miles. For being 16 years old, you guys comment what you think. This is, in my opinion, pretty damn clean for being 16 years old. I had the forward controls. I had to have the forward controls. I looked at a couple other ones, and they didn't have forward controls, and I was like, dude, I'm going to feel so freaking cramped with my height and everything like that. So I decided, hey, this is pretty cool. My alma mater was white, gray, and blue, and I'm like, I don't know if you guys can see, the Harley-Davidson is blue. That was a huge factor for me as to why I wanted to get this in particular. My brother actually bought an Electric Glide at the same time I bought this. So throughout the whole COVID-19 stuff, we were able to still get these bikes. We were just waiting, and I knew about this for weeks. I knew that this was mine. I just needed to wait until we found an opening. Well, luckily, last week, they're like, hey, we're going to do like light sales. So I legitimately had to purchase this bike outside. Like, I wasn't even allowed in the facility. There was a white 6-foot table outside, and a guy and me, and we just did all the paperwork outside along a busy road right near the Pennsylvania Turnpike. So it was loud. We couldn't hear each other. But honestly, that's a freaking memorable experience for me in buying my first bike. Like, I'm so excited to get this thing out on the road, take it out, have a good time. The only issue is the DMV is closed. I don't have my permit. So right now, this is all I have. I can weeble wobble it back and forth. I obviously brought it down here. I did a little loop, but I don't want to play with fire. I don't want to get myself caught up. I don't want to get a ticket and potentially lose the potential of getting my permit because I got antsy and wanted to ride it. So as soon as the DMV opens, you can bet your ass I'm going to be in there getting this settled ultimately so I can go out and I can just ride. And there's a couple buddies of mine that are also talking about getting bikes. So truthfully, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty freaking cool to just, hey, Saturday, let's go out before we start drinking and go out and go for a ride. And that'd be like our thing, you know? Like back in the day, I was so big into, hey, let's modify this car and modify that. And then I had a modified Volkswagen and slammed to the ground because I thought it was freaking cool. And I'm like, dude, no, this is cool. Like, this is going out, just enjoying the outside, enjoying a motorcycle. It's honestly, it's just going to be a remarkable experience that I am super freaking excited for. So, ultimately, do I think I'm going to upgrade? Yes. Do I think it'll be within the next 2 years? Yes, I do. But in the meantime, I want to learn on this, and some of you might say this is too clean of a bike to learn on, or 1200 is still too big to learn on, whatever the case may be. I know myself, I trust myself. If I lay it, that's my own problem. I paid for it, so guess what? I'll have to pay to repair it. But hopefully that answers your guys' questions about this Sportster. And as you guys know, this thing is loud as hell, which is freaking phenomenal. That's one thing that I wanted to make sure, because I knew my wife would not let me put pipes on it. So I had to find one that had pipes already on it and then just purchase it and bring it home, because she had nothing to do with this. She didn't want anything to do with it. But now that it's home, she's like, oh, nice. And then the other day she was like, how do you start this bitch? And I was like, well, here. And you pull the choke out and then you let her rip, tater chip. So day 13, tobacco free. I'm loving life right now. Things are going great. This was your first time watching a video on my channel, guys. I hope you give this video a big freaking thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the freaking next one. See ya.